1 month ago I started my tomato seeds, and as you can see they're getting big, so I'm ready to up pot them. Not all plants need to be up potted, but I'm still about a week or two away from my frost date, and I'm also just not ready to put them in the ground yet. But as you can see, they've overgrown these seed holders. And one of the problems I've run into is I filled this up completely with water yesterday and it's completely dried out. So when they're getting this big, they're using up a ton of water and it dries it out really fast. And there's not a lot of dirt and soil in here to hold the water. So it just is drying out, like this doesn't weigh anything. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to up pot them into different size pots. I have these pots right here, which are a little bit bigger. And I also have a whole pile of pots right here that I'm gonna put them into. So now we're gonna try some of these tomatoes first. So let's pull out some of these tomatoes and let's see what the root system looks like. This is how you really know you have to pot them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out a few of my pots. I'll start with these ones first. And I just have some starting mix that I use the same as here, and I'm gonna use these and put it right in here, fill it up. And now let's check the root system on these tomatoes. So one of the benefits of a larger pot is you can have a more consistency in the moisture and fertilizer. See, my roots are starting to wrap around my tomatoes. That's how I know they really need to get moved up. So I'm going to put them in these pots right here. It's real simple. We're just going to put it in, throw a little bit on, and these are really dry. And then what I like to do is put them back into my tomato container that I have right here. And then what makes this easy is I can put water in the bottom, and because there's holes in the bottom, it'll suck the water up from the top and help the roots continue to grow down. And I can fit quite a few of these pots in this container. Also, when the container's too small, it's stopping the tomatoes from growing new leaves. And this is gonna give me a few more weeks before I can put them in the ground. And as you can see, they're getting pretty close. They're getting pretty big, but this will really just protect them and let me keep them for a little bit longer. So let's finish these tomatoes real quick, and then we'll move on to the next plants. So I don't actually need all these tomatoes, so I'm picking the strongest ones to plant over. My seed container did blow over one day in the wind, which stressed and broke some of my tomatoes, so I had a little bit less after I did that. See, this one's pretty well root bound, so we're gonna put those in there. I don't normally unbreak them. I know you can, but I've never noticed it to matter for me. And because these are tomatoes, you can actually bury the stems into the dirt a little bit, and it'll just help them get stronger. So they'll start growing roots from the new stems. All right, there's some tomatoes. Let's move them to the sun. Next, we're going to use this container, which I think I bought some other plants in, so I just saved it, and I'm going to pour some of this in here. Some of my cantaloupe really don't look like they're still that big yet, but the cantaloupe are rooting, so this is about as big as they're getting in these little containers, so I do need to move them into this bigger container. So I'll put some cantaloupe over here. Let's see this one. This one's not very big. Yeah, so put that one in there. That. I got a bunch of basil right here, so we're gonna put some basil in this one too. Basil with the tomatoes grew amazing last year. So that's why I grew more basil. There's quite a bit of basil right here. But these bigger containers will be able to let the plants hold more moisture. And that way I don't have to water them as much, and they'll have more room for the roots to grow. So here's basil and cantaloupe. We'll move those outside. And I have a few more tomatoes I need to put in. As you can see, it really is easy. Doesn't take much time, but the plants will grow better. I'll be able to wait another couple weeks before I have to put them in the ground. It's still about 40 degrees at night, and so the plants might live, but they're not really gonna do anything if I put them in the ground. I might be giving away some of these tomatoes. I have so many, I don't need all of these. They grew really well in my area last year. These are the big beef ones. So now what I can do is water them, and I can water them from the bottom. This is another table I built over here for my pizza. I'll put a little bit of water on top, but the water will go in the bottom of these pans, and it'll hold a lot more. This is rainwater that I'm using. Pour it in here, right in the middle. There you go. Now the water can come in from the top, from the bottom. It's kind of clogged because I used some dirt in there. And there we go, my plants are in. I can get another couple weeks out of them now before I have to put them into the ground. So up-potting them really is easy. Now I can just leave them and chill for a couple of weeks. So we'll see you when we put them in the ground. Thanks for watching.